What are the goals in an exhibition game? What are the things you're looking for? I assume you want to get everyone on the court, but aside from that, what are you particularly looking for?
Well, like with anything, it's to win. I'm not going to kid you. I don't want to ever lose, so I'm going to play to win, but it doesn't really count other than competitors play to win. But looking at a lot of different things, I don't even know today who I'm going to start. And the people I start may not even be the people that end up starting when we do officially kick this thing off with real games. Looking at combinations. Honestly, some of them look great in practice, some look great in drills. The lights come on, let's see what happens. Conditioning, I expect it to be poor, always is until you get them going good. Just to see retention, how much they can retain and carry it over from practice into a game. But yeah, I'm as excited as a lot of people just to see what I really have out there on the floor, with the understanding that this game doesn't count, but it really does count in my mind because it just tells me a little bit more about each of them.
Kim, would you consider this transition to be, is it going quickly? Is it going about the rate you thought? And will it get into the season before you really have a feel for, who you can depend on and who's in the rotation?
Oh, I think you're going to have to go into the season. You're going to have to, be in tight games. Our very first tight game, who am I really looking at? I don't know, because I know what I see in practice, but I know they beat the heck out of each other in practice. So I will learn a lot during the games about kids. Some decisions I make will be the correct ones. Some of them may not be the correct ones. But what I do know going in is we're going to play hard. I cannot imagine them going on that floor and they not give me all they have. They've done that from the time we started, and that tells you they're buying into what we're trying to do. Do I expect it to be a finished product? By no means. We may not be a finished product all year. This is the first year putting in a system. We sit in staff meetings and I'll go, God, I really need to put that in before that, but they're not ready for that. You can't throw a lot at people until you grasp what you put in already, because then you'll become, a master at nothing. So we've got to master the basics and little by little put in different things.
Hey, Kim, off the court, at least, you were at Baylor for a long time, so I'm sure that transition and getting settled in this community, that's something new. But do you feel settled, and how have you kind of been able to, what's been the toughest challenge of, coming here and, getting situated?
It hasn't been a challenge for me, and I really attribute that this is home. I know everybody. I'm telling some of our administrators who people are because they are not from here. It's home. LSU is not where I went to school, but yet I grew up 40 minutes down the road. And I have not had any trouble adjusting to being back. The hard part for me is I want everything done yesterday, and that includes moving in my new house. That includes recruiting. That includes learning the plays. So patience will really be front and center of my world right now, and not to get frustrated, and just show patience. Show them that you believe in them. I've only done this twice in my life, and so starting over can be difficult. Obviously, it's going to be extremely difficult, but because I'm at a place where I'm extremely comfortable, and I think everybody that I work for understands where the program is, where we're trying to take it, and that doesn't happen overnight. We were fortunate at Baylor to win the whole thing in 5 years. Now, where do you ever find a blueprint or a book that tells you this is how you do it in 5 years? It's unheard of. But if you see progress, then you know you're heading in the right direction. Will it ever be quick enough for me? No. It won't ever be quick enough for me, but I'll keep perspective. I think it's kind of like a fine wine. You get better with age. I think wisdom comes with age.
Kim, I'm not suggesting that you play favorites, but you were a point guard, and I'm wondering if you get really close to your point guards on your team. And the second part of the question would be, how much of yourself do you see in Kayla Pointer?
Well, you don't have favorites. What you do, it's funny you ask that, because as I teach on the floor, I'll stop in the middle of practice and I'll say, anybody know who my favorite is out here? And they all look at each other. I don't have a favorite. I guess the favorite all-time player I've ever coached was my daughter, for obvious reasons, but it didn't get her any more minutes. I certainly have those who I understand and kind of laugh at, and then I have those who challenge me to get the most out of them. I play to win. To answer the point guard question, the point guard has to be an extension of me on that floor. They have to be able to take all the credit and all the blame. They have to know every position on that floor, what those guys' responsibilities are. They have to start the pass to make the first entry pass to get us going. They've got to call the correct defense. They have to be the coach on the floor. And so I have to at times be hardest on them, but I also know they get most of the credit. It's like a quarterback in football. The receiver never gets credited for an interception, right? Regardless if he tips it or somebody tips it, it always goes back to the quarterback when you look at the stat sheet. And so I tell them there's a lot of credit coming your way. But you got to remember, you have to take the burden of blame sometime just to help your teammate. And Kayla Pointer has been nothing but a trooper. She has been a warrior for me since I got here. You remember that was her Aunt Nikki. How difficult is that to want to stay? And she did. And she's allowed me to challenge her. She's allowed me to praise her. She's picked to be an all-conference player this year, and we need her to have a great year. Oh, they're all better than me. I was smart, man. I played with some of the greatest to ever play this game. And kids nowadays, they're all bigger, faster, stronger. They have resources that we didn't have back in the day. They have NLI opportunities. They get money on top of their scholarships now. They're living the best times of their life in college.
Kim, you said you've only done this a couple of times. Have you been, leading up to this season, have you been in touch with some emotions and feelings that maybe you didn't experience? You know, I'm sure every year you're excited for every season, but that you hadn't felt maybe since you started at Baylor, or maybe even started as a player at La Tech?
No, not really. I think you get a little anxious, but I want to have that anxiousness. If I go into a game and I don't have butterflies in my stomach, then I need to get out. I need to get out, you know, and that's the way I was as a player, is that, wow, until that thing's tipped off, man, I'm ready to go. Certainly, guys, I'm a realist. There are going to be so many down times. Do you think just me coming here, I'm going to wave this magic wand and we're going to win all these games? It's not going to happen. But I know what I'm going to look for on that floor, and I know every day it's going to be better and better and better in some capacity. But I'm excited that the community's excited. I'm excited that when we host events like we've hosted, that it's packed and that there's a lot of people here. I'm excited that our goal is to sell 5,000 season tickets, and I think we're, approaching that 4,400, and we haven't even made a big push for that yet. That's exciting. If you're not excited, then why do it? Now, can I do at 59 what I did 21 years ago? To be honest with you, I told you, I'm a lot wiser. You think I'm going to go out there and take a charge on these kids? Back in the day, my very first job, I was out there taking charges. I'm not stupid, but I'm out there instructing. And if I can't instruct, and I can't be intense, and I can't be, funny and all those things, then I'm not reaching young people I need to get out. But right now, we're having the time of our life. And thank God for my coaches. They came with me. I don't have to sit down in staff meetings and teach them how I want things done. I sit down and tell them what I want done, and they know how to go teach it. And we just got to keep working. We got to keep recruiting. We got to keep selling this program, and we will.
Yeah, Coach, you've constantly preached to fans that this process is going to take some time. What would you consider a success in this first season?
Well, things that the fans won't. I'm going to celebrate 10 wins. Do you know why? Because they only won 9 last year. And we're going to celebrate it like crazy. And then I'm going to count up how many games we have to win to not have a losing season. And we're going to celebrate that. And then I'm going to celebrate did we move up the NCAA charts in field goal percentage defense? Are we guarding people better? I'm going to celebrate shooting the ball from the perimeter. Little things that in order for us to get better, we have to do. Most people will judge you by how many you win. Most people will judge you, like that. You can't do that. You can't put that on this team yet. It's still a learning process for them on how I want things done. They played matchup zone a lot and were very good and kept them in games and won some games. I don't teach matchup zones. I may go into the season, man, I'm hard-nosed, man-to-man, and I get out there and bang, all of a sudden we just can't play it. Well, I gotta adjust. So I've got to teach some kind of zone in practice right now in case I have to do it. I'll give the greatest example, and I tease the girls all the time, guys. We play LSU in 2005, and they beat us in the regular season. We go to the national championship semifinal game, and we're down 15, 17. I don't remember what it was at half, and we're getting embarrassed on national television. So I make an adjustment, and we go to a 3-2 zone. I have never in my life embraced a zone. Ironically, for 30 minutes in the practice the day before, I just thought ahead. What if? And I made that adjustment. We got back in the game, and we end up winning by 5 or so. So I am preparing for a lot of scenarios that could happen. But I'm also trying to set a foundation of what I want this program to look like as we continue to recruit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the news about Gary Blair, somebody that obviously coached you and you coached against for a long, long time.
That sucker, he gets to go enjoy retirement while the rest of us stress, right? Gary Blair got his start at Louisiana Tech, for those of you who don't know. I was a freshman, and he was hired by Sanja Hogue and Leon Barmore from South Oak Cliff High School. And guess who he brought with him? You ever heard of a guy named Dennis Rodman? Well, his older sister taught him everything he knows. Her name was Deborah Rodman. And so I got to play with Deborah Rodman. So Gary was at Louisiana Tech the entire time I was a player. And then he took the Stephen F. Austin job, and after I graduated that next year, and that's when there was a change in Sanja Hogue retiring, Leon Barmore taking over, and then I got kind of talked into going to help Coach Barmore. So Gary Blair, I could tell some of the funniest stories, but I guess you could say that I knew him when he was first getting started as an assistant. I coached against him when I was at Baylor, and we had some classic matchups. One of the things that I will always remember about Gary is the very first NCAA tournament that Baylor ever went to, my first year. We played him and his Arkansas team in Cameron Indoor Stadium. Of course, he was better than I was, beat us. But then we were in the same conference, the Big 12, and we had some classic battles. And I still am waiting for that thank you call from him on that first national championship he won, because we played each other 4 times that year. 2 regular season in the Big 12, the Big 12 tournament, and then the NCAA thought it would be great for the game to make us play in an Elite Eight again. It was great for the crowd. It was great for the fans, but he beat me in that game, or his team did, and they went on to win the national championship. So Gary is he's just Gary. You know, he's a good guy. Need more in the business like him. I don't know about staying in it till you're 76 years old. I can't see many people doing that this day and age, but kudos to him that he was able to survive and last that long and stay healthy. And go enjoy retirement, Coach Blair, and I look forward to going against him this season. He's got a very good team. He won the thing last year, in the SEC, and I would imagine he'll be fighting for it again this year. Hey, guys, good to see y'all. Go Tigers.